Hello and welcome to the Discover History YouTube channel. And as you know, local history is a big part of Discover History. And luckily, we live in the city of Worcester, which has thousands and thousands of years of history. So it makes our job much easier. However, tonight I want to concentrate on some of my collections really, and obviously I've got a lot of local history books, got a lot of local archaeology, and I've even got a vast quantity of old bottles and old bone china, that sort of thing, really, all connected with Worcester. But the other thing I have is things associated with recreating the English Civil War in Worcester. In other words, reenactments, really. And the first thing I've got for reenactments of the Battle of Worcester specifically has to be this programme from 1984. And as I said, I collect all sorts of things for Worcester, and this is part of my collection. Now, I don't know if there is anyone that's watching this that may have even actually took part in that as a reenactor, as a member of the Sealed Knot, or maybe you were watching it. I know I watched it, and I watched it from a relation's house that was on the top of Buns Hill. So I actually had a view of the whole of the battle recreation that was being done right in front of me, basically. I was, by the way, very, very young. This took place in 1984, and it was really a big money raiser, a big charity battle, raising money with the help of the Rotary Club for Worcester, and it's still going. So really this is a programme from that event, really, and as it says on the front, the reenactment of the Battle of Worcester by the Sealed Knot. And it's an absolutely interesting read because obviously the programme's got a lot of information about the actual battle in it, and then there are also snippets of the reenactment. That photograph, by the way, was taken in the outer garden of the commandery and shows a smaller group of reenactors there. But it's also useful because you've also got the address by the mayor in it at the time, and there's also a few adverts in there. Not that many adverts actually, but this was produced obviously in 1984 to celebrate the forthcoming big anniversary of the Battle of Worcester, really. And you have to remember, we're in 2021 and we've got the big anniversary this year also of the Battle of Worcester. But then not long after that, really, Worcester really became the sort of hub for Civil War reenactment. It's probably down to the fact that Worcester sees the first and last battles of the Civil War. And that brings us on nicely to another program, and this is a program from 1987. And once again, I don't know if there's anyone here that took part in that, or maybe you, like myself, was in the crowd watching it, because in 1987 I attended this, and this was the King Charles escape from Worcester in 1651. And this really was when the Worcester militia, the original Worcester militia, was relatively a new thing that had really come off from the Sealed Knot, had really broken away from the Sealed Knot, and really that all started with the original battle reenactment that I mentioned in 1984. And this was run by the Worcester militia and also the Sealed Knot, and once again it was Rotary Club that was doing a lot of the work for charity on this one. And it consisted of two battles, just like the other one, one on Saturday and one on the Sunday, except this one didn't take place in the fields around Powick like the other one. This one actually took place really along Friar Street, New Street, and also the Corn Market. So it basically showed the end of the Battle of Worcester, the latter stages, the escape, the fleeing of Charles II. And this picture on the front here was created by David Birtwistle, one of the artists from Worcester, and it's an absolutely atmospheric picture, basically. You may recognise the man on the horse, especially if you are a member of a reenactment group, because that is actually someone that appeared in a lot of photographs at the time portraying King Charles II. But then, almost straight away, almost straight after really, in 1988, there was yet another reenactment, and this time, unlike the one that was fought over on the fields at Powick, unlike the one that was fought along the streets of New Street, Friar Street and Cornmarket, we then have in 1988 another one which was jointly between the Sealed Knot, the Worcester Militia, and also for predominantly the Rotary Club, the charity Rotary Club. We have the storming of Fort Royal, and once again an absolutely fantastic picture by David Birtwistle showing the storming of the fort, and you can see Worcester Cathedral in the background. And once again, this was another aspect of the Battle of Worcester. So in the 1980s, 1984, we see the big battle over at Powick Ham, as I said, the full recreation. I also believe in that one there was also a pontoon bridge across the River Team that the British Army actually built for that. I'm pretty sure of it. I can vaguely remember it. I was quite young, obviously. But the street fight showed the sort of fleeing of Choles. And like I said, in 1988, you saw the big storming of Fort Royal, and it was very, very spectacular, and it really showed the stage where the Royalist war effort began to collapse in the afternoon of the 3rd of September 1651. Once again, these programs are absolutely fascinating because you've got information on the fight. You've got things such as people writing speeches in here, like the Mayor of Worcester, and then you've also got some fantastic adverts on some of the companies like Royal Worcester Porcelain that are no more. So it's quite a sad read, but it's very much a piece of Worcester history, really. And then when you get to 1992, which is when really I got involved in historical things for Worcester, really, before obviously Discover History started in 2003, in 1992, we get the first of the 350th anniversary events. And the first one was actually the Battle of Powick Bridge, and this was purely a cavalry battle. And as far as I can remember, because I went to watch this, it was the largest cavalry charge on English soil since the Battle of Powick Bridge, or since the Civil War between 1642 and 1651. And it really was quite spectacular. Large amounts of Sealed Knot cavalry galloping across the river meadows, recreating the spark that lit the English Civil Wars. But that started all the 350th events, and that was done or carried out on the 19th and 20th of September 1992. Once again, were you there? Did you take part in it? Or maybe you were, like myself, a member of the public just watching it. In these programmes, by the way, I've still got the tickets, by the way. I'm quite sad like that, but if it's Worcester related, I keep it. But then that drew us all the way through up to the 350th anniversary of the Battle of Worcester, that took place in 2001. And by that time, I was working at the Commandery, which was at the time the Civil War Centre, and I actually helped organise this one. And this was the Sealed Knot Battle of Worcester. And you can see on there the logo that was designed purely for that event, really. And this all took place on Bennett's farmland, really, back up to Powick Bridge and that sort of area, all the fields surrounding it. But it was a long festival as such, really, commemorating the end of the Civil Wars. And as you can see from the programme, the event started on the Tuesday, on the 28th of August, really. So very similar to when the Royalist Army occupied the city, and it ran up to the battle reenactments itself, really. So like I said, I do collect many, many things that is relating to Worcester, or even a little bit wider afield into Worcestershire. And tonight, really, I wanted to just show you these reenactment programs that I've got and the tickets that I've got from when I attended as a child. And what you have to remember is in 1984 and 1987 and 1988, these early reenactments, I was literally a child, a child literally holding on to the barriers, watching the battle and breathing in the gunpowder smoke, getting very, very interested in history, really. And obviously in 2003, as you all know, I actually do it as a job now with Helen and even our newest member, Ian Riley, who's actually behind the camera at this very moment. One thing I will add, just to end on, is I do actually have photographs, very early photographs, they're not mine by the way, that I've had from the newspaper showing reenactments around about 1900, 1910 in Worcester of the Civil War. One appeared in the local newspaper, the Worcester News, or as it was, the Worcester News and Times at the time. And there was a large group, I think there's about 30 members of the cavalry fighting under the Edgar Tower by the cathedral. And I believe it was done not for a reenactment, but for a film. What that film was, I have no clue. But if you know, please let us know by commenting on here, or when this video gets put on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, please comment on there. I know it was about 1900, something like that. It was the start of the 20th century, and it was more of a film than a reenactment. I'm pretty sure of it really. But for Worcester, we do have a lot of reenactments specifically for the Civil War. And I'm not surprised, because after all, this is where the Civil War began and ended. But what we must never forget, and this is something I always say, Worcester is more than the Civil War. The Civil War is about a centimetre on the long timeline that is the history of Worcester. Anyway, on that note, stay safe, have a fantastic weekend, stay in, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.